Good morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge. DeadPresPicks, joined with my man Krabs Bets. It is Tuesday. We have a lot to get into. A loaded college basketball slate. I believe 7 top 25 teams will be in action, or top 25 games will be in action tonight. We're going to also touch on some MLB Futures as requested by you guys yesterday. Never too early for that. About a month away from the season, so time to lock in, make some big money there. Of course, we're going to give you guys another trivia question today. That was fun yesterday. Got a good one for today, and then the Tuesday best bets for Krabs. First of all, how you doing? I know you're not feeling great, but hopefully the bets get us through today.
Yeah, we'll be okay. Still recovering, a little sick, but also recovering from that TCU game last night
Yes.
when they played not great. No heart in that
Not
game
good.
against Kansas.
Nope.
Kansas might be legit, man. They've got 13 Q1 wins at this point.
Insane.
It's by far the most in college basketball. In big games, when it matters, they win. So took that one on the chin last night. But hey, look at you getting cute and
6.5.
and pulling through on latter day 4. That's huge.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I had a mixed reaction because I took TCU money line also, so that hurt. But 6.5, I thought we were gonna have to sweat it out way more than we did. Shout out to Jalen Wilson. He had a horrible game, missed the 1-and-1 at the end. TCU decided to basically use the whole clock and then just jack up a horrible 3. But that kind of saved the 6.5 because it avoided all the fouls. And then Kansas ended up winning by 5. West Virginia came through. I think were you on West Virginia, Krabs, or did you lay off that one?
I was. I had an ML paired with Nicholls State, who lost on a
Okay.
one-handed buzzer beater on top 10 plays. So that's the kind of day we had yesterday. Yep.
That's not. Yeah, bounce back there for sure. No, but yeah, West Virginia there -2, just a beatdown. Kind of what we expected there. They needed that game because the rest of their schedule was very difficult. That game puts them back in probably comfortably to March Madness. But yeah, that 6.5, man, that was tight. TCU though, Krabs. I don't know how you felt about the game. They had so many chances in that game to just kind of step on their throat and go on a run. Every time they cut it to like 3 or 1, I don't know if you agreed, but the shots they were taking were insane. Or they would throw like just horrible passes. Like it was a frustrating game to watch as a game.
No, they were not playing sharp yesterday. That's for sure. Look, they'd already beaten Kansas once this year, so I didn't expect them to get in their own heads, but they did. I expected them to be oozing confidence now that Mike Miles is back and they're healthy and they're coming off putting up 100 points in their last game. But they played a little bit nervous. They played a little bit, timid, and that showed in the second half, especially when they had a bunch of turnovers and crummy shots. You're right.
No doubt. Yeah,
it was always the plus 6.5.
That's why we buy it all the way up to 6.5.
Sure.
Yeah, so shout out to that. So I will have a latter day 5 talk today on the show as we move on. We're gonna get into that, but just a beautiful looking betting slate. I'm so excited for today. A little bounce back day too. Why not? But before we get to college basketball, Krabs, we had some requests to do some MLB futures. All right, so me and you both big MLB guys. I don't know how your season ended up last year. I had my biggest MLB season in 4 years, so I'm fired up for this year. Here's kind of a broad look at the World Series odds right now. First of all, who's your team? You're a Nats fan, right?
I'm a Nats fan, unfortunately, for this season. But we do have a ring, though. So I know you're a Phillies fan. Hey, you can have our sloppy seconds. Let's see if it works out for you guys down the line. You got like our entire old Nats squad now. So I still have a soft spot in my heart for Bryce Harper, unfortunately. I chirp him all the time, but at the end of the day, I still really like him and wish he was in D.C.
Yeah.
And, you got Schwarbaum as well, and now you got my guy Trey Turner. So, gosh, I'm waiting for you guys to change your logo and team name at this point, but you're really good, and we're not. So we'll see how this year goes, but I think we're projected to have the worst win total of the season, lowest win total of the season at like 60. So that's not too hot.
That's extremely low. All right, so if you had to decide over under Nats 60.5, what do you think? Would you go under?
Honestly, I'd probably take the under. Although I have been hearing good things about Josiah Gray changing up his pitch mix a little bit. So his fastball, his four seam, is the third worst pitch in baseball last year. It got absolutely roped.
Yeah.
So he's getting rid of that pitch and he's switching to a cutter, which I think is dope. So that's huge. Cade Cavalli came up and got hurt right away. So you never know what's good with him. He's supposed to be really cool. And then we also got that kid from the lefty from the Padres in that deal, the lefty Mackenzie Gore, who was like one of the best pitchers in baseball for the first half of the season and then fell off. So a lot of ifs on this team, a lot of young talent now with CJ Abrams and co as well. So it could be weird. Who knows? I mean, if these guys all lock in and play like to their potential, we could, surprise some people, but the odds are against us.
Could be a big year. All right, I'll give out one that I like. So it's a divisional bet. Blue Jays to win the AL East. I believe they're plus 250 right now. I love that. Yankees in the offseason, I think they did what they had to do. Obviously, their biggest thing was locking up Judge. But outside of that, pretty much the same team as last year. They did bring in Carlos Rodon, but he goes from pitching in a pitchers-friendly park in San Fran to a hitter-friendly park in New York. So, I mean, his numbers, I would think, kind of do that. They're gonna struggle a little bit. I love what Toronto did, though, in the offseason. All of a sudden, Toronto's the best rotation in the division. I mean, they go deep now. You got Manoah, obviously, up there. They bought in Chris Bassett, which I thought was a really good pickup for them. Jose Barrios was horrible last year, but this is a guy at one point was an ace. I mean, we've seen what he's had the ability to do. Kevin Gausman's been really good, and he's still got 100 reviews. So I think they go 5 legit guys. I mean, Barrios might end up being the number 5 in that rotation. Like, that's how deep Toronto has from a rotation standpoint. We know offensively they can swing it. That hasn't been the issue the last few years. You got Bichette, you got Vladdy in the lineup. And I like what they did defensively. So the subtraction was Teoscar Hernandez, who was a butcher in the field, DH'd a lot. But they bought in Dalton Varsho from Arizona. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Watched him a lot on Arizona last year. Great defensively. Good contact guy. He has some pop in his swing also.
You can catch and play center field, which you don't get very often.
Yeah. So, I mean, the versatility there, I mean, he's a big-time addition, in my opinion. Then you bring in Kevin Kiermaier also from defense. So they have, like, 3 Gold Glove, in my opinion, in the outfit. You have Springer, you got Kiermaier, and then Varsho's a guy who I think will win a Gold Glove at some point. I mean, he's an outstanding defender. So, yeah, I really like what they did in the offseason from a standpoint of, just they got better where they needed to, pitching and defense. They could always hit. So I like Toronto there. I like Toronto at that value. So just letting you know, the guy who keeps commenting, DFS lover, we did DM you the week of VIP, so just make sure to check your DMs for winning the trivia. But just double check that. But yeah, any other futures out there, Krabs, that stand out to you?
Yeah, I'll make 2 comments. Number one, it's funny that after all the Mets did this offseason, they're still the 3rd shortest odds to win the World Series, not first. Got to respect the Astros and then all the lunatics out there who love betting on the Yankees every year. I guess that's why they're the 2nd shortest. They shouldn't be. But, hey, if I had to pick a team on this board, I'm going with a team that goes under the radar every season, a team that has incredible results, a team that has a roster, a bunch of young guys who are locked in now for the long haul. So, barring any injury, they should be getting better every single season with this group, who I really believe in, and it's the Atlanta Braves. I hate to say it. And I'm sure you hate to hear it as a Phillies fan too, but I mean, what they're doing down there, man, is incredible. I don't know how they're getting them to drink the juice and take these deals. These 3, 4, 5-year deals, that aren't that expensive on some of these young guys who could end up being stars. I don't know how they're getting them to buy in, but whatever they're doing, it's working. And that roster and that team is really good and built for the future for a long time of success. I love the Braves again this year. I do.
Yeah, I get that.
Hey, Krabs, 94.5. Do you like the over on the Braves?
Yeah, I do. Do you have the win totals for the Mets and the Phillies up there?
Stand by. The Mets are 94.5 as well.
Can I guess the Phillies? I'll guess the Phillies are 87.5. That's my guess.
The Phillies
91.5, my guess.
88.5.
It's one off.
Right in between. Or you almost hit it. Damn. Okay. So then, that goes to show you they still believe in the Braves there. And I guess the new Mets and your Phillies are taking a 3rd seed even after going to the World Series. That's pretty wild.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I should touch on. Obviously, there's a ton of bias here. But the Phillies are like plus 375, I think, on DraftKings, or 350 to win the division. That's crazy. I mean, they just went to the World Series. So, in my opinion, let in my opinion, there's this value there.
You added a couple guys, you added Trey Turner and stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't think you guys ever really had, the best roster last year. I think you just got a bunch of guys who have really good chemistry, really like each other, and you guys got red hot going into the end of the year, kind of like the Nats did back in 2019, where they didn't have the best team, but they had a group of guys who really fucked with each other, good chemistry. And they thought they could beat anybody. And that's what you guys did. So that's why you're not, the favorite to win it again this year, because you don't have the best roster, but that's still a team to be scared of. It really is.
Yes. I agree with that. For sure. Definitely one to keep an eye on. I think this offensively, like you said, with Turner now, I mean, you got Schwartz, you got Turner, you got Harper, Romito, Castellanos set it off. They have 7 to 8 legit guys that could hit at the top lineups.
No, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're not the Mets.
Yeah, but the Mets always met Krabs. They always end up screwing themselves at some point in the season.
100%.
They don't scare
100%.
The Mets never scare me at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean the Braves are the team. Still. I think the Braves should be the favorites. I agree. They do get disrespected kind of.
You take them to win the division, the Braves right now, non-biased.
Yes. If I had no bias, I'd say the Braves are the best team in the division. I do.
That's what I wanted to hear.
The thing with the Braves pitching too, I mean, they have the guys. The one guy, if you're a Phillies fan, keep an eye on, or even just like a baseball fan, Andrew Painter, one of the best young arms in baseball. I think they're going to give him some leeway this year. So getting him, the issue for the Phillies was kind of that 4 or 5 spot last year, because he can go 3 strong. I mean, Wheeler, Nola, and Suarez, they're going to be fine. It's the back end. They did bring in Walker from the Mets. Obviously, he was an all-star a couple seasons ago. He's a big upgrade from Kyle Gibson, you know what I mean, or one of those guys. So, keep an eye on that for sure. And, the Padres there, someone asked about them at 1,100. I don't know. You see the Machado comments? When I see stuff like that, I worry, how locked in. Is he more worried about getting his bag this offseason, which I understand? Or, are they ready to win? They've had, obviously, the issues with Tatis. And, I mean, talent-wise, you can make an argument all day for the Padres, but I don't know. I think that's risky. I don't love them. I think the Dodgers are minus 110 again to win that division, minus 120. Might just be another year. The Dodgers is doing what the Dodgers do.
So nuts, man. It's so nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, there's a lot to get into. Excited. Only a month away. We are almost there.
It's coming.
We're getting close. But all right, guys, we'll shift gears. I think we're going to go to trivia time. So this is one that I think is going to be tough. We know the answers, obviously, so we're not going to play with you guys. But I'm going to tweet it out real quick. So this is going to be the trivia question. Again, if you guys are new to the program, if you missed it yesterday, we're going to do these. The winner gets a week of VIP. So make sure that you guys are ready to go. Krabs, this is one when we got asked. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think either of us knew it. But who are the only 2 MLB players to win multiple Triple Crowns? Now, this is one again that I'm gonna say. Maybe people bring in the Google, right? But it's whoever comments first wins. So hurry up. You got to be quick on this. Whoever gets this first, I'm watching the comments. Whatever first comment, and we do have YouTube comments also. So keep that in mind. Nigel's going to monitor them, our producer. To whoever has the first correct answer. Once again, who are the only 2 MLB players to win multiple Triple Crowns? It's just exciting times. Now we just wait.
Who can Google this fastest? That's the wait right now.
I'm going to be honest. If I was watching this, I'd be Googling right now.
Someone got it.
We got a Barry Bonds.
I just saw it. It was it said it was abusive. I don't know if it let the comment in. I don't know who the commenter was. Try commenting again.
Wow, this is a whole.
Oh, we got it on YouTube though. Mike Klein.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
So the answer is.
We got him.
Rogers, Hornsby, and Ted Williams. Mike Klein. DM at DeadPresPicks on Twitter for your prize.
Wow. What a win. That's a scandal. This guy had an abusive
it said it was abusive. It wouldn't allow it to come in.
I mean, I can't see. Whoever commented that, though, he can also – I think he should get it, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Abusive for just saying the name Roger Hornsby and Ted Williams, that doesn't warrant – that doesn't warrant.
You want to know what my guess is? I bet Roger Hornsby had some not-so-kind things to say about certain people because he played in the 20s. And maybe
I don't. I think it was like that. Yeah, we're getting a lot of. That's crazy. I mean, think about it. Now, this is something I don't think we'll see for like another 50 years. Like, this is so hard to win. Like when you really break it down. I mean,
And to make it even more impressive, Ted Williams like went to war in his prime, like halfway in the middle of his career, and then came back and played more. Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah.
Like, this is real stuff that people were doing back then.
It's insane.
We complain when we don't get, perfect 8 hours of shut eye, or if it's a little stuffy in our room. But Ted Williams literally went to war in the middle of his prime.
I know, and he did it. Ted Williams hit the Triple Crown in 1942. Went to go fight in World War II. Came back and hit for the Triple Crown in 1947.
That's not bad.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. I with the way today's game is, I just don't think someone's gonna hit for the best average. You know what I mean? Like it's just not feasible.
Well, think about it. Like, who's the last guy to do it? We talked about it before, right? Miguel Cabrera, right?
Yeah.
And he did it once, and like how many Miguel Cabreras they don't really grow on trees,
No, that's what I mean.
A guy who could do it would be like a Juan Soto, a guy who has everything, right?
Yes.
That's the kind of guy who could do it again. A type of player who has pop, but also doesn't strike out, puts the ball in the play. If he has one heck of a season, he could do it. But there's not many Juan Sotos growing on trees either, to be honest with you.
No, it's insane. Again, I'm sorry if you guys keep commenting like you thought you were first. It's just whatever one shows up first. We don't really know. It's a lot of people comment at once. So make sure you guys keep. We're gonna do these pretty much every day moving forward. So you're gonna get a lot of chances. You're gonna get a lot of chances to win this, but definitely a fun trivia today. All right, so let's get into the CBB slate for tonight, Krabs. This is probably the part most people are excited for. It's loaded, this top 25 slate. So let's just kick it off. We'll kind of touch on most games. We got a little bit of time here to touch on these. Let's just start with that Nova Xavier line. Anything stick out there?
Yeah, it opened up at 6, down to 4.5 now. Nova's probably the sharp side here. Look, I've been debating it all day. Do I want to take Nova? Might be a little too late at this point, but these guys played last month. Xavier won by 8 at Nova. Now they flip, and Xavier's laying only 4.5 here at home. So a little bit of a short line. Nova coming off a loss by more than double digits. Xavier coming off a big time win to DePaul. So. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That line is short, and you should not be betting on Xavier today. But, I would not be surprised if Villanova loses by 5, right? And it hits right in between where it opened and where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I think it's a Villanova line. It's probably a stay away game for me. Maybe use Xavier as like a money line piece. But the thing with Nova Krabs, they're healthier than they were. Obviously, missing a guy like Justin Moore for a majority of the season, like that shows up. They've been dealing with some injuries. As they've gotten healthier, I think like Nova's current roster is way better. If they were healthy all season, maybe a tournament team. They came into the year ranked, but I mean they've just had a horrendous year. Obviously, Jay Wright's departure came as a shock to many. Nova's just not, they're not what they've been the last few years. But a line like this, kind of with all that, you take all that into account, and yet we see 4.5 line. Xavier's been a really good home team. They've just been really good in general. It is a Nova line. Might be a stay away game for me, but I think Villanova gets done tonight, Krabs. Hit set.
I'm a little too close to that Miami VT score. I don't like it. Can we move that around? I'm so nervous for that game, dude. Oh my gosh.
I know. You're a Tech fan. Miami's been killing you right at times this year. So that's a big game for Krabs, guys. If you guys aren't familiar with the program.
I can't stop looking at it.
It's addictive that game. Tennessee A&M, Krabs. This one's going to be a good one. Big time showdown in College Station tonight. A&M though back into the rankings. They're -1.5. If you like defense, watch this game. It's going to be an absolute rock fight. What does Tennessee allow? Like 57 points per game. A&M's in the low 60s. It's going to be a lot of defense in this game tonight. What's your thoughts on it?
I wouldn't be going around taking the over in this one. But look, I think Texas A&M may be a little bit of a sharp trap here. You see the worst team as a favorite at home, who's ranked 25 and not 11, and we all know how good Tennessee's been overall this year. Besides a couple games, especially recently, though, right? I think this is a Tennessee bounce back spot here. Personally, I'm probably not playing it myself, but if I did, I think I might be on the Volunteers here to get right. I mean, Texas A&M and Buzz Williams, Tyrese Radford, they're really good point guard. These guys have been around the block. They know how to win games. Hence why they're on fire right now. They're on a 5-game win streak, 5-game cover streak, and they're 18-9 ATS this year, Matt. So they've been pretty profitable for the boosters there and for bettors around the world. Yep. But look, Tennessee's been struggling, man. They've lost, 3 of 4, and they were favorites in all those games that they lost. So I think Texas A&M looks a little too easy. But personally, I think Tennessee bounces back here, and we get a little Zakai Ziegler and Santiago Vescovi revenge on the road.
All right, I like that because I'm all in on Rocky Top tonight. Tennessee's been good to me this season. Kind of been able to feel out their style. But 2 wins so far in February? I mean, they've really struggled in the month. Mm-hmm. They got a couple games coming up that are very winnable. I think they get Arkansas at home mixed in there. So I think A&M's being a little overvalued in this spot tonight, if I'm going to be honest. I agree that it's kind of like a fake trap kind of line, 1.5 at home. Like if this was 3.5, 4, I'd be all over A&M. But like the line where it is, I think Tennessee defensively, it's going to be a rock fight of a game, right? That style, no matter who they play, favors Tennessee. So if they can keep this thing in the low 60s, I like the Vols tonight. Better team. And the other thing, I don't think A&M's lost at home this year in SEC play. So the fact that, again, we're only seeing them 1.5, like it should be a heavier line if they've been great at home. Tennessee's struggling all these factors. I actually think it's a Tennessee line. Don't necessarily look at the number next to them, right? I mean, we, as gamblers know, that means nothing. Hence the
AP poll is not worth your time, guys. Yeah, you're better off looking at KenPom, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The numbers really don't add up. I mean, look at, as I'm saying that, let's look at the next 2 games that we're going to get into, 3 games that we're going to get into. The lower seed, if you will, is favored. Like the next one we're going to go, Marquette and Creighton, right on cue. 10 Marquette. Krabs, we made a statement yesterday. Marquette possibly a top 5 team for you. In your rankings. Team that might be a little bit of a sleeper in the eyes of most, but I think this is a Creighton line here at 5.5 at home. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. Wasn't too happy when I saw this line. I'll be honest with you. I was hoping this would be closer to a pick 'em. Creighton laying 5.5. I know they're home. I know their expectations were through the roof before the season, right?
Yes.
Probably jumping the gun on that. But look, Marquette already beat these fools once. And now Creighton's turned around. I know they're home this time, which is a huge, significant difference here. But now they're laying 5.5, and I like the splits too. I know they are a little bit public, but they're getting some bigger bets there with the handle percentage being pretty high, higher than the bets. So they're getting some big bets on them, probably for good reason. We know it's hard to beat a team twice, especially in the Big East. So I think Creighton pulls this one out on the ML. They probably cover. I won't be taking Marquette, that's for sure. Probably not taking anything in this one, but I definitely lean Creighton to get it done and at least win the game.
Yeah, probably stay away game for me as well, but it's a Creighton line, right? So, I mean, if you're looking at this and you're like, hey, I'm getting the best team in the conference +6, +5.5, whatever you can get, it's probably too good to be true. This is my guess here. Creighton's a team, again, Krabs, coming into the year. I had in my top 10. I was very high on Creighton entering the year. They have a lot of experience in that lineup. Nemhard, Kaluma, Cockburn. Like they have a lot of big time names that have been around. McDermott, experienced coach. I like Creighton a lot as a team. I think they're a team that has the ability to go on a postseason run, March Madness run, because offensively they're just so good that they can beat you. And defensively they've been more impressive this year than some past years. So. That's where I'm going in this game. If I had to, probably not going to bet it, but it's a Creighton line here. Krabs, here's the game of the night for you: the Miami Virginia game. All right, getting some comments about Miami. So some people like Miami. Let us know what you're on. If you're on Miami or the Hokies, I'll let you go first on this one because you are a Virginia Tech guy, right? That's where you went to school. For the people that don't know, it's been a frustrating year for Tech. But talk me through this game.
Yeah, VT is a favorite against 13th ranked Miami. That's pretty much all you need to know right there. Look, I know we've been getting a ton of line respect all season because, the net rankings really like us and all the analytics really likes what we've been doing. And we haven't lost an ACC game by more than 10 points this year, yada, 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 whatever. But at the end of the day, us being minus 2.5 against a Miami team that's one of the best teams in the country is ludicrous. Mm-hmm. And to see that be a real thing, I mean, gosh, you don't have to put, 20 units on it and make it a megalodon play, but you at least got to put a responsible measly unit on the Hokies tonight to get it done in Blacksburg, where they know they take care of business. Recently in years past, they've had some great success pulling off some great upsets in Blacksburg in recent years, mainly Duke and UNC and UVA. But why don't we throw Miami into the ring, a team we usually split with almost every game or almost every year. We split. They took the first one on a crazy buzzer beater, whatever. That's when we were playing even worse, and they were playing at their best, and they're still on that run. Yep. Now we're coming off our best win of the season this weekend, most complete win of the season on Saturday. Look, we know it's in there with the Hokies, right? They had pretty much the same team they had last year, minus Aluma and then plus, a couple pretty dynamic freshmen. So, and Grant Basile, a transfer from Wright State, who was one of the better players in the country last year, made it into the tournament. So the roster's there, the coach is there, right? They just got to find their confidence, and they got to find their swagger and their mojo, right? Because they keep losing these games by a couple points that they should be winning. That's not good for the mojo. But after coming off their best win of the season, I really do think my Hokies get it done tonight at home and take care of business against a Miami team that doesn't play a lick of defense, and that's going to show tonight.
Mm-hmm. I will get to this game later, but for now, I'll definitely say I'm in alliance with you. I do think it'll be Tech. Miami's a team that I have gone as far as saying they have the best offense in college basketball. I mean, when they're hot,
they're nice.
They can fill it up with the best of them. But like you said, they're not known for their defense. So if they have an off night, if Virginia Tech can kind of muck this thing up, play at their pace, I do think it's Tech. And I'm seeing some comments. A lot of Miami comments out there, Krabs. So we got to.
You know what that means, brother. You know what that means.
We got to
taking mental notes. It's good.
Pitt's been. Someone said their best game was against Pitt. LOL. But isn't Pitt are they still at the top of the ACC?
I mean, they were in first place in the ACC when we beat them on Saturday by 10. So
12-4. So I mean, they're a game out. Like
people.
I agree Pitt's fake good. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, they are.
Not true. But, I mean, it's a good win. Like you said, that's probably their best, right, of the year?
Yeah, and they looked the best was my point. Spot and all, it was our best win, honestly, on paper. But I'm just talking about how we looked and how we played, which is more important, to be honest with you. Yeah,
definitely. All right, Baylor, Kansas State, Krabs. This is a game I can't wait for tonight. Huge game in the Big 12. I'm gonna say this. This game eerily similar to that TCU Kansas line last night. We see a little similar here. Kansas State won the first time around, Krabs. So got to keep that in mind. Baylor looking for a revenge spot here. K-State knocked them off at home. I love the Bears tonight. I'm gonna say it. I don't think that this is a game that will. Typically I wouldn't bet. I don't like road teams. I'm gonna be honest, but I do like a few tonight. But tonight, Baylor bouncing back after losing at home to K-State. I know they lost on Saturday to Kansas. They beat probably 99% of teams in college basketball if they played the way they did Saturday. Kansas just came out in that second half and kind of just knocked the life out of them. But they were impressive early. I love Baylor. They are a top 3 team in the nation in my eyes. I've talked about it all year. Their guard play is just outstanding. I mean, they have guys throughout the lineup. Flagler, you got Keontae George, Cryer, the big men that have experience in March. I think they match up very well tonight against K-State. I'm all in on the Bears. I think this is a great spot for Baylor, and the fact that we see them favored here on the road. I've backed Kansas State a lot this year. I think Jerome Tang has done an outstanding job. His name should be at the top of the list for Coach of the Year for what he's done for the team. He's a Baylor assistant too, so Tang came from that Baylor coaching staff. So he knows the team. Might know the system pretty well, but I think the fact that we see Baylor minus 1.5 on the road makes the Baylor play for me. I will say if the line was flipped here to -3 Kansas State, I would go the other way, but I think it's a Baylor play. What do you think?
Agreed. And you said it's a similar game to last night. I'll say the only real difference is that the line flipped. Opened up Baylor plus 1.5, and now they're minus 1.5. So go Bears. That's the right side here.
I agree. All right. Quick question though that we wanted to hit on: the best 3-game parlay for tonight. If I had to just like gun to my head, throw in three game parlayer, I'd go Creighton, Tech, and then Baylor. See what that pays out. Why not? Just mix it up. Here's a game, Krabs, that we're going to get to later for you, so we don't have to fully touch on this because this will be in the best bet segment. Indiana, Michigan State. This line 2.5 in the favor of Sparty. Big game tonight for them. I think it's Spartans here tonight, though. I do like them at home in that game. We'll hold your comment because we are going to get to your best bet segment on that. Iowa State, Texas, 6.5 for the Horns. Longhorns. I think Texas rolls in this game tonight, to tell you the truth. What do you think? Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, Texas is really good. Iowa State's really, really been struggling, and they struggle on the road, and they don't know how to close games. And if Texas is playing any bit of defense today, which they're more than capable of, that's going to cause some issues for the backcourt on Iowa State there. Their Cyclones backcourt gets nervous as heck and starts fumbling the ball around, looking like a high school team at the end of games. So Texas at home, I mean, they have not sold out a game once yet in their new arena down there. They love basketball down there in Texas. So they're laying a pretty fat, 7.5 now some places? My goodness.
Keeps going up.
I get in while you can if you're taking Texas, because that line's only going to get worse.
Yes.
Back to Longhorns at home.
Yes, I agree with that. I do think Texas also, by the way, a good parlay piece for people asking. I think they definitely win the game. I mean, the line keeps moving up. It could be a close cover, but I think they cover that number. But definitely, if you guys want to get them into a parlay for tonight, I think that's a really solid parlay piece look, on this play. So, all right, let's get to the final game before we get to our best bets. Going to head out to the Mountain West. Any thoughts on this? San Diego State, 10.5. Feels like a big number at times because we know how they play, Krabs, low scoring, kind of grind it out type of games. Anytime I see them laying double digits, I kind of think, but Colorado State, not all that good this year. Any thoughts on this?
Colorado State has had the injury bug bad, maybe worse than any other team in the country besides Wyoming. Those two teams in the Mountain West have gotten crushed with injuries, sicknesses, people quitting the team. I want nothing to do with Colorado State. I'm not saying take San Diego State, but if I had to bet something in this game, I probably would lay it San Diego State, either first half or full game. Yeah. It's Colorado State's pretty much just Isaiah Stevens and 4 scrubs. So he can't beat this team on his own. Could he cover? Maybe, if he's absolutely red hot. He's one of the best point guards in the country when he's on. But he's been off more times than on recently.
Yes, I agree with that. All right, there it is. There's going to be our analysis. Someone did comment about teasing basketball, Krabs. I'm happy to see a lot of responses. Please never tease basketball. There's a little teaching moment there. So yeah, no teasing for hoops, NBA, college, international. I don't care what you're betting. Never, ever, ever tease basketball. All right, best bet time. Okay,
What about for the ladder?
So for the ladder, we can tease the ladder. We'll tease the hell out of the ladder. Yeah, that's where we tease. No straight, no. Okay. Only ladder is the exception.
I had to put that in there before we moved on. Come on.
All right, let's get to the best bets. Real quick, I want to make a ladder announcement. Speaking of the ladder, I just tweeted out that I'm going to announce. So for day 5, we are going to skip today. I do have a best bet that's going to smack. We're still going to win it. But the way the odds kind of shuffled out, staying away, we're going to move on to day 5 tomorrow. I already have a couple games that I love for tomorrow. Don't officially have lines on it, but some spots that I have a lean on for the ladder. So these games tonight, really close games. I see a lot of them. They're just going to be really good, top 25 games. A lot can happen here. Certain teams I just don't want to fade. So be patient with the ladder. We're not going to rush this thing. We're on day 5, but day 5 will be for tomorrow. Yes. So, the Krabs, should we educate them? We're getting a lot of teaser questions. I don't know if we have time, but one day we'll try to walk you through the reason that teasers typically don't work.
Well, teasers are good. I'll keep this under 30 seconds. Teasers are good in football, I guess. But at the end of the day, guys, remember the teasers are just parlays with makeup on. At the end of the day, you still need 2 things to happen. And therefore, I'm not the biggest fan of it overall, but I still do tease football at times. Mainly NFL though. College, there's too many points. I don't really think that the teaser has any value. But in the NFL, where points are coming at a premium, generally compared to at least the other sports, I think it could potentially be worth it, at least for NFL. But any other sport, really, especially basketball. First of all, when you tease basketball, you're only getting 4 points on each side.
Yeah, exactly.
4 points in basketball is not worth even 1/10 of 6 points in the NFL, which is what you get for a teaser. So if you're teasing in basketball, you're really just getting ripped off and showing that you're not, the most educated about the situation. So there you go.
Yes, yeah, it's not a knock on anyone, but like you said, Krabs, teasers only give you so many points, and alt spread stuff like that, you can actually get more, so you can get different spreads, you can kind of mix it up. Yes, I appreciate most people not wanting to rush the ladder. We did get one comment about the skipping. Guy wasn't happy we skipped Krabs. Hit him with a block. Hit him with a live block on the stream. if you're not, yeah. Go on the ladder somewhere else. All right, guys. So, I have no more time to explain. Sorry, too many comments. All right, let's get to the best bet time for tonight. Let's get to it. Krabs, you're going to kick us off. We touched on this game briefly because you have a bet on it. Indiana, Michigan State. Sparty back at home, -2.5. What do you think?
Yeah. This game means more than just basketball tonight. As many of you guys know, there was a crazy shooting at Michigan State the other day, and this is the first home game since then. So that place is going to be very, very emotional tonight. And those players are going to be playing for more than just, themselves in that game. So number one, in a sport where we know emotions are probably the most important out of all in college basketball, that's an edge I want, to be honest with you. So I like that already. Number two, I like the line. Unranked Michigan State, who's, coming off a brutal loss to Michigan where they melted and they were winning the whole game but ended up losing by 10. They're playing one of the hotter, better teams in the conference over here in Indiana, who's won 4 or 5 and looking really darn good. It's debatably the second best team in the conference. So you're telling me that Indiana team coming in with Trace Jackson Davis is going to be an underdog to Michigan State, who's 16-10, not even ranked, coming off a loss? That's a little bit weird. Love the way the line's moving. Opened up at 2. Now it's at 3 some places. Give me Sparty on the ML today to get it done. Don't fear the juice. Embrace it, okay? They win this game at home when it matters most, okay?
I love it. Yep, I'm gonna be on the Sparty with you. Definitely do like Michigan State tonight. I am gonna pivot back to the ACC Krabs, the game that you wanted to talk about mostly today, the Miami Virginia Tech game. I'm back in your Hokies tonight. I'm doing it. The line, it's a V Tech line all the way. I think it opened up at 1.5. It's up to 2.5. I'm going to go money line -135. Full transparency. I did lock it in last night at a much better number, but this is what it is right now. So this is what you're going to get. Tech needs this game. They've been a good home team, right? Only 3 losses, I think, on the home floor this season. Miami, when they have lost this year, it's been away from home. The Canes have been outstanding at home this year, but they've been, they've struggled at times on the road. They've dropped a few games on the road. This is a Virginia Tech line, though, all the way, through and through. Don't care what you say. Miami's been outstanding this year. Now you get an unranked Tech team at home, and we see the line continuing to move their way all day. We are taking Virginia Tech. I think this is a game, like you said earlier, defensively, Miami's not great. If Tech can fill it up from an offensive standpoint, and Miami is, an off-shooting night, or Tech is a team that can make things difficult for you on the defensive end, I think they match up really well here. So I like the Hokies. Place is going to be rocking. And hey, lastly, if you're a Hokies fan tonight, you're allowed to storm the court if you win this game. This is a storm court that you can do.
They will be storming that shit tonight.
Yes. I think we're going to see a stormed court in Virginia Tech. So going with Tech money line, I think these are both sharp looks. Even though we have a little bit of juice on the money line, but these are 2 ranked teams versus unranked teams, and we see the unranked team at home. I think you and I are pretty similar in the way that we cap these games. So yeah. So that's where we're going. Tech. Don't say Tech and a teaser. Yes. Take Tech plus 8.5 as well. That'll pay off for you.
Be a safe late pace. Sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Why not? Take whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Tease all these up. So I do think, and I understand a lot of people out there not going to like faded Miami. I don't like faded Miami. I've only faded Miami 2 or 3 times this year, but we've done it with some success. So we're gonna fade the Canes tonight. They're due for some regression, right? Some shooting regression is going to hit them at some point. I don't know when. Hopefully tonight.
Hey, we can defend a 3-pointer very well. So the first game was a little bit of a fluke.
Yeah.
Let's get back at them in this game too.
Yeah. See. This is the biggest tech fan on Twitter. We got Krabs. So
Yeah.
he's spitting us facts.
A lot of people have already quit because of how demoralizing being a fan of this program is, to be honest with you. So I'm sticking with it. Okay, we're a basketball school now.
Yeah, he's a loyal tech fan. So that's always good. Just lastly, to kind of reiterate, yes, there is no ladder today. Just keep getting questions about that. I know some people hop in and out, but these are not ladder picks. These are just straight up picks. Yeah, no, a lot of people are not going to want to fade Miami. Just do it. Hottest team in the country, you got their dogs. All right, that's fine. All right, so Michigan State there. Any closing statements there, Krabs, or are we ready to roll? Just we'll give a little sweep today.
Yeah, closing statements. I said I would not fade Miami again this season. Took a future on them. I don't really care. I'm taking Virginia Tech here. It's my alma mater. They're winning this game. Yep. I promise you guys, you won't be mad anymore once they win afterwards, and you're counting your guap. So Let's go Hokies tonight, and let's go Spartans in a game that matters more than basketball.
Yes, sir. All right, let's do it. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Another episode. Let's get to it. Big day. Let's sweep the board. We'll see you guys then.
Yep.